still learning. I learn every day, every hour. So I wouldn't say I've figured it all out at this point, but I would say early on, I took on way too much. I'm an ambitious person. I probably have like a dabble of ADD. So I like to have multiple things going on at one time. And so that kind of speaks to my own innate nature, is to take on more than probably humanly possible at times. And that was probably the biggest mistake I made early on. Is I was like a kid in a candy store right when I had left corporate and started my own company. I had so many things I wanted to do. I wanted to start a podcast. I wanted to write a book. I wanted to build a course. I had all of these big things, and every single one of those could be a full-time job. And so thankfully, I have been able to do almost all of it. In fact, I'm publishing my first book this year. That being said, I learned to slow down and not take everything else on and say no more. I was saying yes to everything and everyone, and really spreading myself way too thin. And I found that it was getting in the way of scale. And anything getting in the way of scale is going to get my attention. So once I really thought about, okay, yes, I could do that, or I could say yes to that, but should I? And the answer is usually no. I also found like a second mistake is saying yes to every prospective client. We now are really judicious on how we onboard clients and really determine if it's a good fit for us and for them. So not every client and their needs is going to be a good fit for Tribe, and nor is Tribe a good fit for every client, right? So I always get on a call with anyone we're going to consider working with, find out what they really need and see if that's a area of our expertise. And oftentimes it is, but then I'd say, 20% of the time it is not. Either they don't have the budget or they have a need that's really different than our solutions. So I've kind of answered this with two things. One, don't take on too much. That was definitely a mistake I made early on. And secondly, learn to say no to clients, to offers, to partnerships, and even onboarding new products, new solutions. Slow and steady wins the race. And I have to remind myself of that on a daily basis.